Why is it difficult for men to show emotions to another man?
Shouldn't be a problem, really.
But why is it?
Why do men struggle to show emotion to other men? I think if you put 5 guys in a room, sometimes they won't even show you any kind of emotion. They'll just be masculine.
Why?
When I lived in London for 8 years, and I had a kind of like a little bit of a hipster group, really. They called me together, 2 of the friends, and they were like, "Hey man, we miss you. How's things going?" And I caught up with one of them, like, "Mate, you sound great, man. Life sounds great for you." The other one lives on a boat. The other one's like doing his own thing. They're both in the film industry, so they're both trying to work towards that. And then gone. Still to this day, no understanding. Don't know why. Gone. And it was very, very hard and surreal to take, because the one friend, my other friend, who is my best friend, he just didn't take it. He just couldn't bear it, because he'd only saw him like 2 days before, and the conversation was fine, and he asked how he was, and everything was good. He just didn't know.
There's a lot that can come out of just one simple conversation, and I've found that. Yeah. And I've preached this to all my friends, even female, male friends, that just you have to have a conversation with someone about it. If you are going through something, you need to talk to someone about stuff. I always felt this thing where I was not embarrassed, but I suppose it is embarrassed but talking to my parents about stuff like that. Yeah. And being more open with them about things. When you talk to people, things you get better at things with repetition.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And the more you talk to people, the more comfortable you get talking to people.
Yeah.
The more open you can then become, which is I've definitely found out. I was lost by a dog in September. Even just going through something like that, it was so important to just talk to someone.
Yeah.
Because you can wake up, like the other day I woke up, I had a dream about replaying everything what happened with the dog. Oh. And woke up in the morning, I was just in a flood of tears for like an hour.
Mate,
and
you okay? So guys, this is my first intro of the best version of you. We are going to talk about things which is related with the time period we are in, which is kind of mostly like Christmas, but we're actually also going to dip in and out of things as we go in. So I wanted to know a reflection of what Christmas has been like and what Christmas is to you.
It feels weird, like
it does, doesn't it?
So Kris is hosting this one. I think.
Yeah, it feels weird, doesn't it?
Kris wrote the structure, so I threw it on him last minute.
Go for it.
Anyway, Christmas is always for me. It's my parents have been massive always on Christmas. Like my mum loves it. She's very get the tree up in October and very excited for it. And
did you get a stocking?
Oh, all the time. Yeah, it's literally before I moved out, I think it was like 20 or so. I would get a stocking every single year for 20 years on the bed at the end, and it was just
ready to go.
My mum was she's absolutely crazy about Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's always been about my mum going not over the top, but decorating the house and always thinking outside the box for gifts and stuff that you'd never ever expect and think that you'd need, but for whatever reason she would know exactly what it is that you want without telling her what it was. And it's always been a very family oriented thing for me.
And what did you get this year for Christmas? That's the most important question.
I got an amazing
blow up doll. No, what did you actually get? Sorry. No, what did you actually get, guys?
I'll show you after, but it's an automated Hoover.
Sick.
Those little things.
Like the circle ones that just help themselves to your floor and just kind of like basically like having a pet.
Yeah, call him Derek.
You call it Derek.
Yeah.
Sick.
Derek initiates every 6 o'clock and hoovers that. It's amazing.
What time is it now? So about 40 minutes from now. That'd be great.
Yeah, Derek will go to war, as it says. But I think as you get older, you don't really but you don't need gifts as much. So it's more. Maybe it's more. For me, I don't expect anything anymore. Whereas maybe I used to when I was younger.
Yeah.
I'd prefer to give the gifts and to see the smiles rather than to always have it all about me. Which I think that's just comes of age.
What about kind of like what is New Year's and because whilst we're on that topic with like Christmas, New Year's for me is such a like. it's such an overrated thing. I've never really kind of got on with New Year's Day. Like, I've been such a Christmas guy. That, like, I just love Christmas, just getting together with the boys. Like, even today, like, for me, this is, like, still part of my festive period. Yeah. And, like, just hanging out with you and having a drink and just catching up. But what is, like, New Year's Day for you? And what is normally your plan? What would you normally be doing?
So my parents always have a party on New Year's. It's sort of, they've done it every year for as long as I can remember. Okay. Everyone comes around and we just...
You doing one this year?
Drink. Yeah, they are. Absolutely.
Yeah, good.
And hopefully you'll be there. But it's a tradition every single year.
Yeah.
And everyone comes around and has a drink, has a good time, plays games. It's just class. A good laugh. It's really, really good.
Do you want to tell everybody what you're going as? Have you decided yet? Because it's fancy dress, right?
It is a fancy
I got the invite, so I did get the invite.
I don't know, because we were originally going to go as the Scooby Gang, which
I wasn't going as Scooby. I wasn't, or the mystery van because of the size of me. It's not happening.
But a couple of them are bottled in now, so I don't know what I'm going as.
Oh, who's bottled out?
My mate Jake and his girlfriend Jake bottled out of it. So just the cost.
So was that like? I was going to say Daphne. It is Daphne.
It's
isn't it?
Fred, Daphne, Velma.
Yeah, so Daphne's out there.
Scooby, yeah. So Velma and Scooby are out.
Oh, that's right. That's good. Thank God you guys didn't pick me for Scooby. That's great. Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know what I'm going as now, but it's a tradition every single year, and it's just a lot of fun. All the
do you not have like a Power Ranger suit just like in the cupboard anywhere? You're not sure what to do. You can always do a Peaky Blinder.
I kind of want to look quite good as well in a picture.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah. I'd go for like
the gram and stuff. So I don't want to go with something stupid. So I'm still figuring out what's the fine line between going to something that's quite funny but also something that you look quite good in.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of Men in Black.
Yeah, dig it. Yeah.
Nice white.
I actually did this for Halloween.
Tie, glasses, little thing.
Yeah, so and you can actually, if you can get an alien, can actually carry it around with you.
Yeah,
which is
literally.
Cool.
So that's one of the things.
Yeah.
In terms of what New Year's means for me, other than the traditions and the parties and whatever, I've always been quite big on New Year being like a reset. I know it doesn't. It's not.
Yeah.
A reset.
No, it is.
It's another day.
Yeah.
But you kind of just think, okay, the last year's been a bit shit. I'm gonna go into this new year and just try and get one step closer to the end goal.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the next year will be for me. Is just, again, it's new ventures, new pastures. So this will be a big thing for me next year. Starting something at the end of this year to then take into the new year, 2024, and then we can see where it goes from a year from now, which I think will be mad. And obviously what YouTube, work, even just, single life. It'd be nice to meet someone next year and potentially in 2025 alongside all of this other great stuff. Where will we be there?
Yeah, well, achieving.
And I think
achieving goals.
I mean. And I think that's what it is for me anyway.
Yeah. See, that's so mine's very, very similar in that sense. So that's why I have such a bad relationship with New Year's Eve. Yeah. The reason I have such a bad relationship with New Year's Eve is because a lot of the time I'm already decided I'm going to reset. Because over Christmas I drink so much and eat so much. I'm actually not a big drinker at all, but in my head I always think I am. Yeah. Like, I've probably over the Christmas period had about 6 or 7 drinks, which to most people, like, that's a night out. Like, that's the start of a night out before they go out. But the reason why it's such a big thing for me is because a lot of the time I dip off the gym in the winter. Just, it's not necessarily to do with being cold or anything like that. It's more to do with the darker nights. I struggle to get like motivated in the darker nights, like, especially that's why I don't train in the morning, too early hours in the morning, because it just doesn't fit my lifestyle. Just doesn't. I wake up, I'm up early anyway, but I just don't train the best. That's one of the things I like to change. So this time last year on New Year's Day, me and my partner decided to we went to a place called King's Lynn. Normally that's like your caravan kind of type of holiday, bits and pieces, but we didn't, just stay at a nice hotel, and we drove to the beach and we jumped to the sea, and it was freezing. It was so cold. Like, first bit, like, it was great because we weren't, it was really weird because like when we got there we thought we were going to be like, we were in like our big coats, we had loads of towels and like bags, like as if it was like summer or something. We go to the beach, that amount of bags, and people were just kind of looking at us like, what are they doing? And like stripping off on the beach. But then actually, like, as it came, because it was really early in the morning, it came to about lunchtime and more people were doing the same. So loads of people started coming out. People were like stripping off, and then actually it became a norm. So people just started cheering and watching, which was really, really great. So we was just in the sea. We actually went for a full swim. She would argue that her shoulders were underneath the water. I would say my shoulders were underneath the water too. It's cold, right? So yeah, it was really cold. But like you said, it's a chance to reset, and I feel like the best way to kind of reset is to be like either dunking your head in the water, meditation, kind of like looking at a healthier way of eating, or just setting goals, vision boards. I think vision boards are really key. That sort of style of approaching what reset. So what is resetting for you?
I think in the last few months, I've not meditated, but I've heard good things about just sitting with your own thoughts.
Yeah.
And I've done it, and it's really hard.
To just sit there and just...
It's so... Because you'll sit there with your eyes closed, and you'll think 20, 30 minutes has passed, but it's been about 4 or 5 minutes. Think, oh my God, this is so difficult. But there's something really good about meditating, just sitting there and just zoning out. You know, because you don't fall asleep, but it's like you're in a flow state. If you get yourself into a flow state and you can just think.
Yeah.
And like if you're on your phone, if you're watching the telly, if you're sat doing something, you can't just sit there and just be with your own thoughts.
So you just literally switch everything off.
Everything's off.
That's so good.
So I don't do it all the time, but
it's good to do that sometimes.
If I'm very stressed, it's like yesterday. I was to be honest, I'm kind of glad that we did move the podcast because I was very like stressed.
Just trying to figure things out.
Just everything.
I felt guilty, man, because I couldn't get it. I felt so guilty because I couldn't get it, and I was like, work was busy. I had a really bad day at work. I had some bad news from work. I was just like, great, anything else? I was just like, let me just go do the podcast. It'll be a really good time to kind of release. And it was just that busy that I was like, oh. So that's why I was like, we definitely need to do today because of it. But I actually, you might have heard this saying before, but this guy I read a book on and he's gone and he went to monks and learnt to meditate and bits like that. But he said, think of your brain as a crossroad. And you're on this lovely patch of grass, and on the other side is another lovely bit of grass with the sun on, and the sun's just shining on it, and you're like, do you know what? It looks really, really peaceful over there. I want to get over there just to read. Now, there's no cars at this point. The road is completely clear as you cross the road. But then he said, think of your brain as this. There's all these lanes, and all these roads are going different ways. Lorries, cars, all the sounds are going on. All that stuff's passing, and all you're trying to do is get to the other side. If the speed, the cars and everything doesn't stop, you won't be able to get to that other side. And that's how he says, like, sometimes you just need to, like, be in your thoughts, relax, breathe, let it all pass by, then it clears, then you can cross the road, then you can get to the other side. And it's not necessarily like, oh, you need to meditate, you need to be like a spiritual person or anything like that, which is great, you know, for those people that are really, really into their spirituality is great. But if you're just kind of starting out on that kind of journey, that is the best way to go. Turn everything off. And I promise you now, if you turn everything off, sat in your kitchen, you'd hear your fridge, you'd hear all these little bits, you'd hear the lights, you'd hear all this buzzing, and you'd be like, I just want to turn it all off. You turn it all off completely, and then you'd just be sat there, and you could really, really like kind of be in your thoughts. And sometimes the best person to talk to is yourself sometimes. It really is. But you went to Costco anyway, so what did you get? Tell me you got something good from Costco. Because like we're on this subject. Was it shopping for New Year's? Was it?
No, so it was mostly, but I'm in January I'm doing the carnivore diet.
Oh, okay, sweet. The Joe Rogan, style. Dig it.
So 31 days of nothing but meat.
I'm vegetarian, by the way, so this is great.
Sorry, vegans, but
it's good.
From what he said and a couple of other people online that I've got quite reputable reputations. It apparently really does change everything
it does,
the mind and the way you feel. And
I attempted it before, actually. And I found myself putting on some good size. I found myself a bit sluggish, but I was working in an American smokehouse, so meat access was like that. I was eating like brisket, ribeye. I was having steaks, so my access to meat was quite heavy, which was fine. I enjoyed the red meat. What's kind of your approach? What are you going to go for, like steaks? Are you going to go for...
Yeah, so I was thinking about this. I think mostly for me it's I don't want to be bored of what I'm eating because
Yeah.
it's very samey meat, and you can't have a ridiculous amount of. You can't have
Can't have
sauces
sauce.
or anything like that. So
Yeah.
it is just a case of cheese and
Pepper, if you're lucky.
yeah,
If you're lucky.
kosher
Yeah.
salt. Something
Yeah,
like that.
you will find a point where you're like, I want to put
Well,
like
that's it.
some seasoning on it.
Yeah.
Because it just does bother you. But
So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have set steaks I'll have a steak in the morning, for example. Then I might have some chicken, and then I might have some lamb.
yeah.
You just got to really vary it. So you got to.
Are you quite a big meat eater? Can you eat a lot of meat? Is there anything that you won't like? Or
no? So I'm going to include fish in there as well.
Yeah,
so
cool.
I'll have salmon and whatever else. I mean, with a diet like that, you need fats. You need a lot of fat.
Yeah.
So you can't. There's the point is buying the 5% fat meats. You've got to get the full 20%.
Yeah, so you can
plus fat. So if you have beef mince, do that.
Yeah.
Turkey is very low in fat, so it's probably
good for shredding.
It's very good for shredding. But
Maybe towards your latter end when you've put your size on,
exactly,
and you want to lean out a little bit.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
So it's mostly just like ribeyes, lamb,
Off to the butchers.
stuff like that. Exactly. Well, I
Exactly.
got loads from Costco yesterday.
Did you?
so
Yeah.
it's great.
Good.
So it's just finding out and trying not to get bored of what I'm eating.
Did you have any?
Yeah.
So you're gonna booze on New Year's Eve? Do you reckon you'll drink on New Year's Eve or mixture? Yeah, and then like straight into cleansing.
Yeah,
straight
and
into.
then it'd be dry January for the full.
Yeah,
month.
you did say that before actually. So.
Along with obviously I can't get pissed all the time whilst I'm carnivore, so
yeah,
I'm gonna do that and then just go for it.
yeah.
I'm just gonna go for it. Like I don't want to say I'm gonna do it and then not.
How long are you doing it for? How long is
So
it?
just 31 days.
Yeah, thought so. Yeah,
So and then February 1st, I'll introduce carbs slowly back in.
I know after like 3 weeks, I remember feeling like completely different, but it wasn't like a negative difference. So
it's mental clarity is, and the way you think and your thoughts is apparently completely different.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're still you, but in terms of how you don't get brain fog or as much or anything like that. It's apparently you just feel like a new you. So I'm going to try it. I've never done it. I've heard good things about it. So I'm no expert on the diet.
Well, that's how I came around being vegetarian as such, really. So it was kind of a mixture. My partner was vegetarian. I was eating meat. I was eating heavily a lot of meat. My training was completely different. My age was going up and my strength was going down a little bit. I still bench really well. I know I still bench really well and I lift really well for my age and for what I do. But I knew that actually I would like to try something where it's less about eating meat and consuming that amount of meat and actually about vegetables, fresh vegetables, and going to the allotment and collecting stuff. And so I made a massive change to kind of change that. But it's kind of good actually we're on this subject because the next thing I want to ask, and it's really, really key, this is for me the main part, like for anything, but ins and outs of 2024. What are you bringing in? What are you taking out? Let's start with the outs.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Or maybe we should go one in, one out.
Okay.
What do you reckon?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah?
Okay, let's do one in, one out.
Go on then, let's go for it.
Ins, I'll go with in. I want to be open to doing more.
Cool.
I'm very regimented how I am at the moment in terms of the structure of my life and what I do. And I've got a goal. I'm focusing on the goals, the plural goals. But you put me on the spot here.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm focused. I've got goals in mind that I'm focusing on, but I think that ultimately I need to be open to trying other things as well and be more open to doing that.
Do you think like sometimes like the goals you set are so achievable that you can achieve them, but that actually what you want to do is like push yourself a little bit, maybe push the boundary and be more curiosity about how to achieve the goal?
I think it depends on what the goal is. So if it's like my YouTube or the podcast, then I think that's a goal which exceeds anything that I ever thought was possible.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm just going to keep going at and just grinding at until it is pretty much over.
Yeah.
But with something like getting a six pack, like I know that I'm in a mental state and I know that I've got the.
Is that in your ins for? Because mine's going out. Mine's going out.
But I know that I'm in the mental state right now to say that I can do it.
Yeah.
Whereas a year ago I wouldn't have been able. But I would have just said,
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me. Does not. But like, I know for a fact that if I want to do something now, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best part. The best take from last year for me is that I've learned that if I'm going to do something, I need to do it properly, and I can't half-arse anything because it's not going to get me anywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And it really doesn't. So that's the
you find yourself like picking up the pieces when you do that.
You do, and it makes you feel shit because you're never ever going to achieve anything if you just quit.
Yeah, I know. I had a friend who was actually one of my really, really close best friends, and he was very good at talking about goals, setting goals, aligning people to get goals. Now, in a business, that's exactly what you want from your manager. Yeah. But delivering the goals and actually just like finishing them off, he just wasn't very good at them. And a lot of the time, he was part of a big group of friends of ours, but in the end, a lot of people just got sick of hearing him talk about the goals. Yeah. And then sometimes the goals were like either like ridiculously, like a lot of the goals were really, really massive. So like moving away to a different country, and just but he like honestly must have spoke about that all the time. And like it's hard because when you admire somebody who's your friend, and sometimes you're inspired by that person from the way that they talk about those things, you really want to see him achieve it. And I don't sometimes think it's like a thing of, oh, you didn't achieve it, so you didn't make it. It's more of a case of like, oh, why didn't you? Like, I'm gutted. Like, if I wasn't asking you that, I wouldn't be a good friend to sit there and go, I thought you were going to do that. Yeah. I saw you doing that. That was good when you were doing that. Why don't you carry on? I think it takes a good friend to say, like, keep going, man. Keep going. So.
Oh, no, definitely. I completely get it. But it's another point actually would be if I'm going to, as you said, if you say something and you have something set, it's to actually do it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
or to at least try your best to make it happen. As I said, for the longest time in the past, I was that exact person. Yeah. But as I said, I've just developed the mindset now, whereas I can't be. It's more effort to just lie about what it is that you want to do and consistently say to people, let's smash the gym this week, let's really start the gym this week, let's do this, or let's start this podcast this week, or let's do this and let's do that, we'll start Monday. And it's but then when Monday comes around,
it's just like different, isn't it? Yeah,
it's like, I've got stuff to do, I don't want to do this, and they go, but next week, or this, I don't want to be that guy anymore.
You just want to keep sticking.
I just want to be like, if I'm going to do something on a Monday, I'm going to make the time and I'm going to put the effort in to do it. And I don't want to, and I want that to be more of my 2020.
That's kind of funny because that aligns into my in. Now my in is about scheduling. Yeah. Like, it's not necessarily that I'm a bad time management person. So I'm not bad at managing my time. If I get something done, I work absolutely twice as hard to make sure it's done. It's more the case of scheduling it in, being like, this is when you start, this is when you finish, like accepting that's when that is. I'm such I sometimes do I don't take breaks at work. And sometimes I stay 10, 20 minutes after. But other people might argue it. Like my staff might argue it and say, you don't stay as long as somebody else or other people that do it. But that's fine. They don't have to, I'm not asking for them to give me a reasoning. It's just sometimes I think one thing for me is about scheduling myself a bit better. Just going this is something you wanted to do it, put it in. Because it's rolling into everything that I want to do and actually hindering it because it's not scheduled properly or it's not organised properly. And look, there are going to be days where I have to come into a different shift and do different things in my job because my job's 24/7 basically. It's 24 hour, so there's no resting in between. I don't work 24 hours, but something could happen and I could be at work in the morning and then something could happen at night and I've got to go to work at night. So that can happen, or I have to open my laptop at night to do stuff. So that can happen sometimes, and that's okay. But it's about scheduling and saying, that's planned. And if anything alters it, no problem. But just be ready to schedule the next thing. Yeah. And if it's missed, schedule it for the next day. So scheduling is a big part of my in, which rolls out with what you're saying. This is my goal. I'm scheduling it in. I'm going to go and achieve it, which is really, really important to me. So
and it's good for your mental clarity as well.
Yeah.
Because if you constantly say that you're going to do something but don't, you sort of believe that that's how you should do things going forward.
Yeah.
And it sort of just becomes a habit.
It becomes a normal. It becomes like a normal thing. It becomes very normal. So easy to drop out. I don't need the gym now. Because you could get in such good shape. You could get yourself in such a good position that you're I feel really healthy. Don't need to go.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you need to go because your goal wasn't this. Your goal wasn't this little bit that you've done already. Because that's only 10% of the 100% that you wanted to get. So go for the 100.
Yeah.
Even if you finish at 90, it's better than finishing at 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to kind of be like,
it's like,
okay.
It's like lying as well.
I was going to say, what about your outs? I was going to say, what about your outs? Because
my outs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything from like last year that you really want to kind of have out? Is there anything from last year? Like, is there like, because like, let's talk about Dry January. Like, that's one of the things that's out.
Yeah.
So like, maybe you just want to be a bit more focused on, like your goals in that sense, and less of like, but obviously you still want to go out and have a good time, but you just want to. So I know people who just go out and they just be sober when they're out. They just go out drinking sober.
Yeah,
is that what you're going to do in January?
It'll be interesting in January to do that. Just like, can I have 3 pints of a glass of water, please? Because I can't have Coke or anything like that. It is literally I'm on water for 31 days. I
was with one of our friends the other day, and he was just drinking bottles of water. And I was like, don't have anything else? He was like, no, I'm just going to have water. I was like, okay, cool. Fair enough. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, each their own.
It's just, you just get looked at a bit funny now, don't you? Because it's the norm to go out. For me, I've got like 2 main friendship groups, and both of them love a drink.
Yeah.
And one of them will be a lot easier on me if I was drinking water than the other one.
Oh, okay. Which side is that? Which side am I on?
I think you'd be quite understanding.
Yeah, of course I would. I wouldn't say anything. I'll probably join in with you.
Yeah, well, I think it's important for people around you to know what your goal is, and if they support you, then
they'll understand it.
They're true to you, and they want the best for you.
Sometimes, like, people try and encourage you to behave in a particular way because they just find you funny, or they just like you that way, or they might just be like, "Come on, we're going out tonight. Let's have a drink, let's relax." But actually, you can still relax and have a good time, and not have to guzzle a lot of alcohol, which is
you can. I've done it before. I've been out and just been on, because I've been the designated driver, so I've just been on like Coke and water.
It does get boring.
The liquid. Let's just put it that way. The liquid.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. The liquid Coke. Yeah, it does get a bit boring after a while. Like having Cokes. I always think like bars should actually like do me a mocktail.
Like your teeth as well, isn't it?
It's like the same. Yeah. Well,
so I was on water, and it was like everyone else around me was on a drink. I was fine with it. It does not bother me. It's nice to have a drink because I do like a beer, and I like a whiskey and a Coke and whatever, and a glass of wine every now and then. But you can live without it.
See, one of my outs this year is to not serve something that isn't for me. A lot of the time, I serve things that aren't for me, just because I'm a caring person, just because I wear my heart on my sleeve. If it's not for me and I know it in my head, I need to work on it instantly, not just like sit on it and work at it. I found myself like working at things. Like working at friendships, let's say, for example, that definitely just weren't for me, to fit in with other people. Not necessarily to fit in, actually. I probably wouldn't say to fit in. It's just maybe there's somebody who's a friend of a friend and I'm in the background of that. I'm just constantly... But if it's not serving me, and it's the same, like if nights out, if everybody's on a night out and it's not serving me at that moment in time, I would hope that people understand that it's just not serving me right now. I just need to do what I need to do. So... it can cost a lot because you can lose friends from it, and you can like lose relationships and stuff. But I know that in my head, if it's not serving me, I've got to look after myself a little bit better this year. Something I've really, really thought about myself. So coming in is definitely like my in. So my out is no longer, I'm not going to serve anything that doesn't serve me. But my in is actually, I'm going to serve myself better. I look after myself a lot better. Health, mindset, physicality, and how I am in terms of how I treat people and how I get treated back in return.
I might steal that from you.
Why are we going to do it? You heard it here, guys. He's trying to steal my Coke.
It's actually a really good point. And I think reflect as you were talking. Then I was having to think about like what that would look like to me. And the last year for me has been not directly for me, but it's been just trying to figure out how I can be the person that I wanted to be 2 years ago. And I'm at the point, I'm not there fully, but I'm at the point now where I'm like, okay, you've got a very good base where you have gained quite a significant amount of confidence in comparison to where you were.
Yeah.
You are looking better from the being consistent. You've don't just physically look better, but mentally you're able to stick to things.
Yeah.
You've now developed more habits, good habits, as opposed, and removed some of the old
Some of the old stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So like, I'm not craving takeaways every 5 minutes now. I don't need all of this crap. Like I can just
cook.
I can cook.
Yeah.
And do all of this stuff
And enjoy the time.
And enjoy it. And
I
think that last year, 2023 for me, as horrible as it was a year of me just figuring out
the stepping stones, man. I guess
shit.
It's just stepping stones.
And 2024 is, as you said, now the year to just do stuff for me.
Yeah.
And be like, I'm gonna get the body I've always wanted, because I was always the fat kid at school. So I've always wanted it. That's what I'm going to do. So the first day of that year is the start of me getting that 6-pack.
Sick.
And then I'm going to...
What do you do if you don't get it? What do you do?
I don't care.
Genetics, man. Genetics.
I'll just starve myself until I do.
Somewhere in there, you were like one of the 300.
No.
Somewhere in there.
But I like that. No, that is my... I'm going to... 2024 for me, the ins is... Or is it an out? It's an out.
Hey, in and out. Who cares?
Do more for me.
Yeah.
So that means not.
It's kind of weird because it's in and out. So it's like,
it is, yeah.
Because you're saying I'm not gonna serve that situation that might be there, which is on offer. I might do one time, but this time it's not for me. And actually, I need to serve myself. And that means like, you know what? It's Friday night, or maybe it's Saturday night when everybody's out getting pissed. Yeah. I need to serve myself. I need to go to the gym. Maybe I'll catch up to you. Maybe I'll be sober the whole time I'm there. Yeah. And people won't understand it. They won't.
They won't.
Like my friend, one of my good friends, who I'd love to bring him on the podcast. He's just like mad sick at talking, and he's mad sick at what he's done and experienced in life. But when he was on prep, he couldn't go out, and the rest of the guys went out, and I went and saw him, and we literally watched River Monsters, and we made I think he made like that much egg fried rice with a bunch of veg, and I had to eat the same as him to respect him enough to be like, we're not going out tonight. We're just going to have a 0-calorie drink. We're going to sit. We're going to have this like amount of food. We're just going to hang out. We're going to watch River Monsters. And it just needed that like element of like somebody being there for him, because the rest of the group were busy out doing that. And it made him feel like, like I'm missing out on something. Am I not a part of something? Is there something wrong with me? And actually like he realised like, I need to prep hard. And that was the year. He actually he came first in the bodybuilding. So which is amazing. So just sometimes you have to like say, do you know what, if it's not serving me, this situation or a person or a job or what you're doing in your life, a hobby, if it's not serving you and you feel like it's not fulfilling you, then go back to square one. Yeah, don't be afraid to do it.
No, and as you said, people aren't going to understand.
They're not.
I can think of many people in my mind now that if that was me,
yeah,
I'd be called a pussy, or I'd be like, get out, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Call a Mongol or whatever, because I'm not going out.
Yeah.
But they don't understand because they don't have the same goals.
I get it every Saturday. So I play rugby. Obviously you know that, but I play rugby most Saturdays, and a lot of the time after Saturday we go pub, and sometimes I'll just have a Coke and crisps. But sometimes if I have 1 or 2 beers, they're like, Kris is out, Kris is coming out, he's on it. Yeah. And actually then what happens is, because I go, I'm still on like 2 or 3 beers while they're on 7 or 8, and I'm like, okay, I need to like just kind of take a step back, because it's not me, it's not my nature. And then it realises like, that doesn't serve me, I have to go. And I'm like, see you there guys, thanks for having me, it's been a crack, I've got to go, I've got to shoot. And I just kind of leave. So it's hard. Not everybody's going to understand.
You're never going to please everyone in life. Generally in life, you're never going to, and it's just, you've just got to accept it.
Yeah, it's like that.
Before we move on to the quote, I've got a question.
Go on, go for it. What are you going to ask me now? What do you want from me? Yeah, go on. What's
your thought on masculinity in terms of like emotional masculinity?
Emotional masculinity. I am a big believer of, I don't care what you think, I am who I am. Look, I'm a massive, massive Disney fan. I don't care who thinks that's weird because I go to the gym and I lift well and I play rugby on a Saturday and then I like Disney. I like, after a rugby match, to go home and sit, cook food, and possibly put on a Disney film. Or possibly, I quite like action films as well, so it's not just Disney, but or put on like an action. I'm a bit of a nerd, really. I like Lord of the Rings. I like The Last of Us. I like kind of weird, different stuff. If it's different and creative, I mean, I just watched Rebel Moon. Like, basically, Rebel Moon was basically just Bug's Life. Yeah. So you got Disney's Bug's Life and Rebel Moon. I actually watched Rebel Moon, and then the next night I watched Bug's Life. So I was like, how much is this reflected on this? But I am, in terms of masculinity and emotion and all those things, I think your masculinity is already built inside of you, genetically built inside of you, physically given to you by your parents, and I feel like you should actually explore it more rather than putting on a facade. Mm-hmm. I love Disney because my childhood wasn't the best. I love Disney because the only place that I went to as a child where I was allowed to be a child was there. It's weird. People find it odd that you could go to Disney and you could spend thousands of pounds when you could be in the Maldives drinking. But I just don't. It's just, I love going there. I love relaxing. There's a big child inside of me. It gives me a chance to relax and release. And it's a one place I can go to where it's pure escapism for me. Yeah. And that masculinity and emotional masculinity that I have kind of comes out of me a bit more when I'm in my own comfort zone. It's not like I don't walk around the park like I'm massive. I kind of just relax into who I am. And I think a lot of men don't do that. I think if there's 5 guys in a room, it's all about masculinity. It's all about who's going to be the most macho. It's all about... But actually, to be fair, I say this, we are good friends because we don't behave in that way. Yeah. It's just very true. Like, we just don't. We just have like pure respect for situations and people, and but not everybody's like that. And sometimes I'm open to the idea that, like, okay, I've got some friends that aren't like that. But I think if you put 5 guys in a room, sometimes they won't even show you any kind of emotion. They'll just be masculine.
Why?
I think it stems back to the caveman days. Hunting, gathering together, that sort of thing. I think it kind of comes from that. I think it comes from men going to war. So if you think about the Romans, they'd be gone for years on end, and it's just men, and men behave in a particular way when they're around each other, which backdates to then, and it's just, honestly, it just goes on and on and on until the point of now. You put a load of men in a sport and it's like a load of testosterone, a load of aggression, a load of remarks and stuff, it's mad because in rugby you smash the hell out of somebody and you get up and you're friends with them 2 minutes later. It's very much like that. I can't approve on everything. I find it hard to approve on everything, like certain situations and how certain people behave. But a lot of it I know it comes all the way back from then.
Why is it difficult for men to show emotions to another man?
To other men?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be a problem, really.
But why is it?
I don't know. It really annoys me that people actually struggle with it. Why do men struggle to show emotion to other men? Because I think from a woman you've got that comfort and that safety and that security, especially if it's your woman. I mean, sometimes even if it's not your woman, you can find comfort in a woman, that motherly kind of feel, that feel. It can stem from your fatherhood, your father, son, that adulthood, like relationship, that kind of growing up. It depending on how your father is. My dad is he's very boisterous. He's very loud. But he has a soft side as well, and the soft side is just a shitload of fun, which is really great. So, it's just a lot of fun when he's relaxed. But my God, if he's not relaxed, don't we all know it? But my stepmom rules the roost, and most of the time when she rules the roost, everything gets put back in place. I think men don't wear the trousers. Women do. No, I don't know.
Oh, some do.
Yeah, some do, yeah. But,
I think for me, it comes down to, sometimes it can be upbringing, which is one, but it can also be surroundings and environment.
Yeah.
So with our friendship group, never used to be like, but they used to be like that, I should say. Like we never used to be open with each other and talk about shit. But I think in the last few years, we've all had our stuff going on. And it's
kind of been forced, I guess.
Forced to open the door, especially with like the amount of people that have committed suicide because of mental health.
Yeah.
And not talking to people.
It's crazy.
It is really sad that think just because if it ever did happen. Luckily, I've never been in that position. For a friend to have ever done that, and other people might have, but that one single conversation could have.
I had a friend 2 years ago now. When I lived in London for 8 years, and I had a kind of like a little bit of a hipster group, really. But it was, I'm not going to name the name actually, but there was 3 of us, and we hung out with a group of girls. So it was about 4 girls and 3 guys. Yeah. We're all a big clique. It was nothing kind of like that. It was just kind of like, there's this event on, everybody going, everybody was up for it. Just like very much as simple as that. Yeah, literally as easy as that. Yeah, like friends actually. Yeah, really weird. So they called me. So I moved back here. I've been here for about 2 years, nearly 3 years. And they called me together, 2 of the friends. And they were like, hey, man, we missed you. How's things going? And I caught up with one of them. I'm like, mate, you sound great, man. Life sounds great for you. The other one lives on a boat. The other one's like doing his own thing. They're both in the film industry, so they're both trying to work towards that. One was wanted to do acting, but also was trying to do film and was doing really, really good. It also did music as well. Music was a massive part of who they were. They did like a lot of music, but they found extra work and did stuff. And then gone. Still to this day, no understanding. Don't know why. Gone. And it was very, very hard and surreal to take, because the one friend, my other friend, who is my best friend, we do literally everything together. He just didn't take it. He just couldn't bear it, because he'd only saw him like 2 days before. Wow. And the conversation was fine, and he asked how he was, and everything was good. He just didn't know. I've had suicide in my life about 3-4 times happen in my life, so my approach to it's a little bit different from everybody else's. But he was very shocked, and he didn't deal with it well at all. Today he's great, doing his own thing and just being happy. But at the point, it was like a big loss, so a massive loss for what it was. So. Yeah,
it's been in my life once, and I can understand what everyone goes through when it does happen. And, I was fairly young when it did happen, but it was
still shocking though, right?
Yeah. But there's a lot that can come out of just one simple conversation, and I've found that. And I preach this to all my friends, even female, male friends, that just you have to have a conversation with someone about it. If you are going through something, you need to talk to someone about stuff. Yeah. Because I've obviously not gone through anything to the extent in recent times, but I lost my dog in September. Yeah. And then I
know how bad that news was, man. Yeah. I was with one of our friends at the time, and he was just like, what? I need to go. I think he tried to come and see you pretty much that night. I think we were I don't think we were on a night out, but I think we were somewhere. And he was like, I've got to go. I was like, see you later, man. Just send my love, man. Send my love. That was it. Because we weren't, I don't think at the time we were as close as we are now. So it was very like, I just hope that you're okay. Really,
Well, even just going through something like that, it was so important to just talk to someone.
Yeah.
And even just, I always felt this thing where I was not embarrassed, but I suppose it is embarrassed but talking to my parents about stuff like that. Yeah. And being more open with them about things.
Yeah.
Things like you don't want to tell them stuff, or even just sort of be you, because you don't feel like a bit embarrassed about it or a bit shy. And like I've come to learn that you
and you were quite young as well, so like it kind of made you do an emotional step of maturity. Like, whoa.
Well, yeah,
that's where I'm at. My first kind of shock of doing this. Like, what do I do?
Well, even just in the loss of my dog, it was the same thing. Like, I've become much more open about, and when you talk to people, things you get better at things with repetition.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the more you talk to people, the more comfortable you get talking to people. And the more open you can then become, which is, I've definitely found out that when I first started, saying, I'm having a tough time through this, I'm doing this, I'm struggling with this, but then, the more you do it, the easier it gets to just confide in someone. Yeah. And that's what I found.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard subject.
It is.
Any other questions? Because that was I was not ready for that.
No. I think that was It's just interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is
because a lot of my friends.
How do you deal with yourself in a situation where masculinity has overridden something that you don't believe in? where something's been said or something's been done or something's and it's masculinity, and you just don't approve. Do you handle it how you wish you handled it, or do you a lot of the time you wish you could have handled it better?
So I'm not I'm not someone that enjoys conflict.
Yeah.
Like I'll stay away from it, or I'll do everything I can to avoid it if I can. I don't go looking for it. I just can't stand it. I'd prefer to stay in my own lane, keep myself to myself, and then deal with it in my own. Or as I said, talk to someone and deal with it that way.
Yeah.
If it's like on a night out and someone's looking for trouble, I'm not interested. Can't be bothered. But if it's like someone said something to someone that I care about, I'm not just going to stand there and watch them do it.
Yeah, just get your voice out.
Yeah, you got to tell them what you think, tell them out of order they are, and go from there. But I'm not going to say I'm going to fight everyone that comes into view. But you've got to stand up for the people that you care about.
Yeah, I've lost friends due to bad behaviour.
Yeah,
I'm just like, if you're going to behave like that, me and you are not like that.
No,
I'm not putting myself in the existence of you. No way, absolutely not.
Oh yeah, if exactly the same. Yeah. If there's something that I'm looking at, I'm like, what are you doing? I'm leaving. I'm going home.
It does kind of depend on the circumstance and who you're with and how you're dealing with it. But a lot of the time in my head, I'm like, I'm just not going to put up with that. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to let you talk to a woman in that way. I'm not going to let you behave in that way. I'm not going to let you do that thing, because that actually reflects on me. That reflects on me. Because one of the things that I saw today actually was a person saying on TikTok saying, I don't understand when you're friends with somebody and someone else badmouths your friend and you're like, hey, to the other person, but you know that you and that friend are closer, but you're going to let that person badmouth that friend to you. So what that person's basically saying is like, you should remember where your loyalties lie. And I always think like if you have a friend, but sometimes blood can be thicker than water, like in the sense of like your friendship could be really, really vital to you. So if as a friend there's a couple of things I believe in a friendship that you should always be able to do: tell the truth and be able to be honest with them, be comfortable with them, and then be comfortable with you, to let you know that like you are doing things that you want to do and they're doing things that they want to do, and you're supportive of that. And then also like understanding each other and being there, knowing when to be there, knowing when not to be there. And most of all, you've got to be able to laugh massively got to be able to laugh, so otherwise it just sucks, man. So
trust is a big one though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Trust and communication. It's amazing how much one simple conversation can have with one person to resolve a conflict.
Yeah.
My philosophy with my ex-partner, we split. It wasn't working out, and we just grew apart, and there was no animosity between us or anything. We're very, very civil, good friends. Yeah. But we were never good at conversing with one another, because we were both very shy, and we would never just come out with what it is.
That's probably
they would dance around it.
Yeah.
And I think she would probably say the same thing.
Yeah.
So since then, it's for me, communication's been a massive thing for me in my life, that I would much rather have the difficult conversation early than have an even harder conversation later on down the line.
Is that what you've learned from that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, this is like, let's kind of get onto that actually, because we're talking about ins and outs. We're talking about like reflection or things and stuff, spirituality, masculinity. From your past relationship, what is the one thing that you've definitely could say that you've learned and embedded moving forward?
It has to be trust and communication.
Yeah.
I trusted her with all my heart. I didn't have to ever check up on where she was, what she was doing.
Yeah.
I trusted her indefinitely.
Yeah.
It was, communication was where I think we were both very good at talking, having chats, deep chats. We were both very emotional together in terms of how we were. But I think the difficult conversations were the hard part to actually have. Yeah. And I think that's where we fell short. Yeah. So I think in I say relationships, I've not been in a relationship since, but all of the people that I've seen or whatever, I would always say that my two biggest lookouts are trust and also communication. Yeah. If you're someone that can't sit down and have a grown-up conversation with me about a conflict or something that you don't like, then I'm exactly, it's a red flag, and I'm not going to entertain it.
Yes,
and it's not. It's one of those things where I can't even just like overlook it.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, then it's not going to work.
Because I'm so bad of the honeymoon period of spotting behaviours, mannerisms,
Yes.
and just going, see, they are. I can deal with that.
Yeah.
It's not okay. Like, certain things are just not okay. It's not okay to behave in that way. It's not okay to treat someone that way. And sometimes they're so small. Sometimes things are so small. Like, I keep referring back to TikTok, but there was a guy, and he was saying recently, like, he was seeing a girl, and they were dating sort of thing, and he messaged her. So he'd gone on a couple of dates, bought her flowers, done all these nice things, you know, he'd done his part. And he texted her saying, she's like on her way to his house, she's coming over, she's already eaten, but he hasn't. So he's like, hey, can you pick me up some food, please? She's like, no, I can't, no, like, you know, are you going to do that in return? Is that what you're going to do for returning for me? Like, what are you going to do for me in return if I'm bringing food? And it was very much like, I'll bring this for you if it's reciprocated.
Yeah.
But then also all the gestures he'd made of like buying flowers, asking her out for dinner, paying for dinner, doing different things, made him realise like, oh, actually, she's only doing stuff to get stuff in return.
Yeah.
And like, she only wants to do stuff like, so he's like, oh, look, it's 20 quid, the food's 20 quid. Just bring me some food. It doesn't even have to be 20 quid. You can bring some stuff that you want to cook for me or whatever you want to do. But like, something that makes him feel special, something that makes him feel important, she didn't want to attempt. She didn't want to, and that's early days. That's really early days.
Yeah. You've
Like,
really got to look out for stuff like
you
that.
have, yeah.
Make a mental checklist of what your green flags and your red flags are.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't. Sometimes there are red flags that
it's so exaggerated now.
Yeah,
isn't
there
it?
are. Yeah,
It's so exaggerated now.
Some people
like,
call them X, some people call them red flags.
God,
whatever. I don't really believe in it, but there are some things that are very minor that you can get over. If that person is the one, then you can get over it.
I just don't get red flags and X.
No.
I literally, like, from day one of me dating, I never thought like, oh, that's an ick or that's a red flag.
No.
I don't like what you're doing. Therefore, I'm telling you that this is something that I wouldn't want you to bring to a relationship with me.
Yeah.
You're asking, you know, when you're in a partnership, you say, I'm looking for a relationship, or I'm not looking for a relationship. When you're at that point, you say, I'm looking for a relationship, and then you bring that to the table, which is something I don't like. If I don't voice that to you, the next probably like 2 years or 3 years, or maybe even the rest of our life of us being together, every time you do that thing, you're never going to know I don't like it. And then eventually you reach a point where like you're like,
exactly,
I need to tell you the truth, and you're not going to like it, and it could grate on you, it could get worse, and things that could build up, and there's like 17 times where that's happened and you never spoke about it. And that comes back to what you were talking about, you know,
literally
falling short with trust,
and have a difficult conversation early before it gets worse.
Before it gets worse later on.
And that's
even if you're not together, even if you're not going out, this is the difficult conversation. I'm delivering it to you nice and early. Let's deal with it.
Even if you go on a date with a girl or a lad, whatever, and you don't feel like you don't want it to go on a second date. Yeah. Rather than putting their hopes up.
Just some people don't even say anything.
Be honest. I've been ghosted after a first date.
I have a friend who recently who was seeing somebody for about 6 months. Some stuff happened, went over her house, everything was good. He had no idea. She literally has ghosted him to this day. Wow. It's mad. Like, literally, that's not even that long ago. Like, Jesus. She just ghosted him. And he's asking me, he's like, what do I do? I'm like, bro, she is not for you. She is not for you. The fact that she can't even just close it off properly or behave in a particular way properly, she is not for you. I you know, it was like, what if there's somebody else? I was like, mate, if she's looking for something else and thinking it's better, I hope it goes horribly wrong. I hope it goes terribly and downhill for her. Because but I said, like, the chances are probably not even that. I bet the chances are is like, you're such a nice guy, you've come across in such a good way, and you really like this person, and you're actually like an actual item, and then just to never speak to you again, like, you wouldn't want that person back in your life. What are you going to do when they come back? Like, well, that's it. Pointless, isn't it? Just move on.
Exactly. My nan always says that if they do it once, they'll do it again.
Oh, 100%.
She always...
And nans. Nans know their shit.
Know, that's what she's always told me, not just relationship-wise, but whatever. If they do it once, they'll do it again.
What is your nans? like go-to top meal? Like, what is the thing that you love that your nan makes? What do you think?
Roast dinner.
Roast dinner. That's how you know she's right.
Oh, proper. They used to go around all the time for for just a dinner, and it used to be just everything, and they were so good.
Yeah,
they were so good. What about yours?
My nan, I'm allergic to fish now, but she used to make tuna mayonnaise rolls, and it used to come in these fresh, crispy rolls from the bakery, and I used to go in there. That's my nan's top dish, I gotta say. Like, she's not like, it's not like she can't cook or anything. It's just, I remember being a kid and having a tuna roll, a chocolate mini roll, and a pack of original hula hoops, and for some reason that combination with a glass of lemonade used to go down so well as a kid.
Nice,
yeah, really simple, really simple. Yeah, nostalgic as hell. But yeah. Can I do my quote? Are we free to go?
Go for it.
I'm just saying it like I might ruin the whole podcast. Okay, so obviously the point, one of the quotes that I kind of went for this week was something a little bit different, but okay.
You've got quite the list there.
Huh? Bro, you can't see anything. I just need to show you my list of quotes.
He's come prepared for the next year.
That's my list of quotes. No messing.
Well, if I struggle, I'll come to you for one.
So the last one, these are some of these I actually wrote myself.
Nice.
The last one is the impact I leave and the impact I have on other people, and with the contact I have been able to spread positivity and love, and I'm proud of that gift that I have. I wrote that.
Nice. It's cool.
Cool, right? It's not going anywhere. No one's putting that on their fridge magnet. But the quote for this week isn't that. The quote for this week is this one. I thought I'd go with this one because I think it's quite good. So the quote that I have is, "Whatever you hold in your mind on a consistent basis is exactly what you will experience in your life." And that's my quote for this week.
Nice.
Mic drop.
Why?
Because I believe that mindset it plays a massive role in what you do next. I think before I even come in here, I was talking about how bad things are going for me, and then you said, "Are you okay?" And I actually said, "I'm actually quite great, actually." And it's all because today I woke up. So the last 2 days I hadn't woke up in a positive way. Today I woke up, and I was actually up. I had to be at work for 6, but I woke up about an hour before, and I said to myself, "Mindset. Set your mindset for the day. Don't let it beat you. Get up and achieve the things that you wanted to achieve today." And like just coming here and doing this and doing the stuff I wanted to do at work, being able to close my laptop at work, I now have 3 days off rolling into the new year. That mindset of let's push this because this is the start. I know on a Monday it's really hard to do that, and on a Friday it's quite easy to do that. But however, I still had a mental block like 2 days ago, and I needed to kind of get myself out of it. And I think that plays a massive role. Mindset plays a massive role. What do you think of the quote?
I like it. I agree. Mindset's everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you can wake up. Like the other day, I woke up. I had a dream about replaying everything what happened with the dog, and woke up in the morning. I was just in a flood of tears for like an hour.
Mate.
And
you okay?
Oh yeah, but it was at that point I was like, well, for the first hour I was like, oh, okay, it's just whatever. But then after that, I just felt, okay, let's get myself into gear and let's do it. And sometimes you just need to have a cry.
There's nothing wrong with it.
As mad as it is, like sometimes
honestly,
you just need to have a cry.
My one thing I learned from my partner that was like massive for me is that she kept saying to me, "Just cry. You're looking like you want to.
Like,
just cry. Stop like trying to hold it. Like just cry, have that release. Like do it." I'm glad you did.
Yeah, no, it was like full on an hour of just bawling
your eyes out, yeah.
Because it's just replaying it over and over and over again.
And you just woke up thinking,
and it's just like, oh my god, like you wake up and it's just shit. But just having a cry and then saying for the rest of the day that I need to get myself in gear. I'm gonna have a shower and I'm gonna go for it. And you know what? Midday, I felt amazing.
Great, yeah.
There's like, I put some music on, have a bit of a sing in the shower.
What's your shower song?
Oh, I don't know. It depends on the mood. So I heard. I'm not going to be able to recite the quote I've heard exactly, but there's a study where if you play music, I believe it's under 16 beats per. I think it's a minute.
Yeah.
You can think better about your current situation and go more into the emotional side of things. So I do that in the shower.
Good.
And also in the car. So I'll play music. So there's a song, you've probably heard it on TikTok. It's called Snowfall.
Who's it by?
Let me just play it.
Yeah, go on. Let's get it. Let's get it up. And what does it do for you? This song. What is it like?
It just.
What kind of like genre?
I urge you to do this, by the way. I urge everyone to do this.
Yeah.
Put some songs like this in your playlist, and just sit there, eyes closed.
Yeah.
And just listen and just think.
See, I've got a song like that.
So I won't play it on here because it'll be copyrighted, but.
Oh, Snowfall. Yeah, love this song. How good is it?
It's so good.
Do you like stuff like this?
Love it.
There's an artist. He's actually an orchestrator. He's called Ludovico Einaudi. Give him a play. I'll drop you some. I've got some serious stuff.
But it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just listen to it. Close your eyes, or in the shower.
I love Snowfall.
And just stand there.
I need to actually put that into my playlist.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Even stuff like the Interstellar soundtrack.
Yeah.
Is amazing.
So that I listen to a lot around this time of year. I listen to a lot of music like that because of 2 and 3 reasons. So when I was living in London. I actually used to read a lot. So across the summer, I would read on the way to work. So it used to take me an hour to get to work. And as going through the tube and going on the train, there's no signal. So you're no longer on your phone. Best thing about living in London is that you actually come off your phone. You're too busy to be on your phone. So you come off your phone. I used to listen to music. I was very, very poor when I lived there. I used to listen to music through an old iPod I had. It was like a big Gen 1, the classic ones. But it had a load of songs like that on, and in the end I ended up just filling it with songs like that. And it used to pour with rain on the train. I mean, I could just picture it all now. So I'd have my Game of Thrones book, because this was way before Game of Thrones was like massive. I had my Game of Thrones book, and I'd have like my headphones in, and I'd read a couple of pages, and I'd just put it down for a bit before I got into the tube to read the rest, or to read on the next line. And I would just listen to the music, and it was just like everything else is happening around me. People are living their lives, they're getting to work and to and from, but it was just me, the window, everything that's going on out there, and everything that's going on in here, and it's like a clear out of my brain. Like I wasn't even like the train journey. It's like it didn't, like every train journey in London feels like it just didn't exist because of the music I was listening. And it was the same playlist. I used to listen to the same playlist every day for about 3 years. Honestly, it was, it kind of changed my life a little bit into. It
does. No, it really does, because it has for me.
Yeah,
like it gives you, for whatever reason, that sort of music gives you a different. It just allows me to think about things.
Yeah.
Why I'm feeling the way I am, and why I do things the way I do, and like where do I want to go?
Yeah.
What do I want to do? Replaying things. It's sad. It does happen.
No, it's good.
But it is, as I said, listening to that, even in the car to the gym, even at the gym sometimes, if I'm in a bit of a shit mood, or like a mood where I'm feeling a bit low, I will just play those songs.
Yeah. Which
may seem counterintuitive because you're trying to like hype yourself up, or you're trying to make yourself happier, but the reason why you play them, even at the gym, and you're doing a really heavy session, is just because you can kind of process exactly how you're feeling.
I know people. And it's kind of weird because people at the gym, they usually listen to rock music, listen to heavy hip hop. But a lot of the time when I'm listening to, I actually listen to a Chris Bumstead. It's a song on his playlist. It's Chris Bumstead, and it just goes like, and it's loads of beats. It just goes boom, 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 boom. And for some reason, if I'm going for a set, that is my go-to song. And it's got nothing to do with like I need to have a heavy rock song on to lift this weight. It's like a thing that just switches the switch in me that says focus on the weight, focus on the pressure, and push. And I just somehow, for some reason, it just works for me. It doesn't. I'm not going to say it works for everyone, but it definitely works for me for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it depends for me. Like today, I went today. I was doing deadlifts, and I was like, I've got to get in the zone for this. So I was like, Metallica on, just
zoning in,
go for it, and it was really good.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing like a squeeze session, or if I'm on the bench press and I'm doing a chest session or whatever, then I like to have like just chill music. Which is weird. But I urge you to do it in the shower, whatever it is.
I kind of already do it.
On the way home, do it. Just listen to it.
I'm going to listen to Snowfall on the way home. Absolutely.
Zone out and just think.
Yeah.
And it's changed my life.
Cool.
Which is weird to say, but it's good.
It's good, man. I don't know what else to say really. What else do we say now? I feel like I wanted to like close it off, sort of thing. What should we do? What should we discuss off?
Kris, you're the host for this one.
I am the host, right? So
Go for it.
thank you for watching with us. I think it's really, really key that whoever is watching, and if people are watching, that it's nice to have you join us and have a part of us. If you can, and you want to get involved, reach out to us because we're keen to have people involved, which is something that we're working on towards the new year. And we want to hear your story as much as that. But more importantly, just come and join us for a drink. Come and catch up. So, but yeah, tune in for the next one. And
Follow
peace
us on
and
Instagram.
love. Yeah, peace and love and follow us.
Yeah. Pleasure.
Sweet. Don't know how to close it off. Can you tell? You know what?
No, it's good, man. It was good.
Good. Broski.
Yes, brother.
Always good.
Yeah. It was good. It's how nervous is it to host?
So no, it's so awkward when you have to start something off.
It is.
It's really weird because like we could talk anyway, and we already started talking before we even come in the room. So like then when we have to like start it off from where we are, like if I have to give it an intro, it just gets me all nervous and like.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah,
it's
it does.
It's weird though, isn't it? Because like we know each other, we're good friends. And it's like we were talking like now.
Yeah,
but
before. But just some reason.
As soon as that's on and you think that you've got eyes on you, it's.
Well, I'm just like, where are we going? That's most of the time. But I've got to be a bit more. It's one of the things that we set in for in and out anyway. The fact that we're gonna explore more and be a curiosity more. So I mean, this is an ongoing project. So I'm so excited to like.
I was going to say
just test the intros and do different things. So yeah, sick man.
I mean, this is the second Us episode
yeah, pretty
out
much,
of 50.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
So by week 40, it's going to be completely
different.
Well, that's what I mean.